god! Holy shit!
Oh my god, it's so bright. Oh my god. Holy shit, dude. That thing looks freaking crazy.
Rewind. Rewind.
Yes! Yes! $69! $69!
I'm gonna aim so far above his head.
Rewind.
I don't have superpowers yet, do I? Oh, he's got big eyes. Wait, superpowers! Do it. One shot him. Oh my god, you did. Wait, you one shot Cole.
Rewind.
Yo guys, what is up? Yo guys, what is up? Yo guys, 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 yo guys. Yo guys, how are we doing today? We're doing our stream. I didn't realize the music was playing in that intro. How we doing? What's up, Destro? Greeny, welcome in. Chaotic, Archer. What's up, Kami? How we doing? The iconic black screen. Yes, sir. Mandy, thank you to the 10 months. Appreciate that. Boom, 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 boom. What's happening? Hi, Riley. How we doing? New build. Same build today. Same build. I want to make some like crafting guides on how we make our weapon. Also farm some currency. Any changes since I left last night? I did make one change last night. That is actually a pretty cool tech, and it costs us 1 divine to do. And it is pretty nice. I'll show you in a second. My computer's booting up. Boom, boom. Yeah, I was gonna make that trade guide. Yeah, funny. Break away from my mistake. Yeah, I mean, I'm really loving this build. I do want to make more builds, but I know for a fact that there's still like a lot we could do to push this build into even crazier depths and levels. Like there's, for example, like there's a charm that gives you 30% attack speed whenever you kill a rare enemy. Like that's insane. It's ridiculously expensive, but you know, there's still like technically so many different like upgrades we could go get. I also am thinking about like making a rarity version. Now that we have the damage and survivability, we could like lose probably a little bit of max health and things like that to just pick up like 100% rarity and still be fine. So Lots of different options. Boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Have an order?
any money?
Order?
Holy fuck. What the fuck sold? Oh, my gloves sold for 15 div. Nice. Very good, very good. Oh, he definitely do some crafting today. Just woke up to 15 divs just chilling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I'll show you what I changed. This cost me 1 divine to do. But I bought a these could get to like 30 div if we wanted to buy a crazy one. But this one gives me notables in my radius, grant me 1% mana on kill. So I got rid of all my other mana on kill jewels. And then this gives us a large radius and an increased effect of notable passive skills in radius. So it's a 1.24 multiplier of everything that it touches. So now this is 37% of armor applies to elemental damage. This is now we're defending with 148% of our armor against projectile attacks. This gives us almost 50% increased melee on close hits. And then each of these nodes also gives us mana on kill, which is really nice. And then all the little nodes also give us 2% increased damage while shapeshifted. So that was one little upgrade that I picked up for us last night, which is very, very nice. I was gonna go for a crit damage one, but they were like 20 to 30 div. So I just went for mana on kill. But I haven't done a run with this. I'm curious if it's enough mana on kill. Yo, what's up, PJ? What's it called again? It's just a time loss jewel. Time loss sapphire. What you're looking for is radius large, which is a prefix roll, and then the suffix roll of increased effect of notable passive skills in radius. And then it can roll 2 things, one passive and then another notable. So like this could be notable crit. I went for notable mana. And then this can roll like increased skill speed while shapeshifted, which would be crazy. Didn't spend on that. And then because now we have a bunch of mana on kill, I grabbed some like crit damage, max life, pen, area of effect jewels. Increased crit, area effect, skill speed, damage penetrate, it's called. Both of these were 1 div each. But our shred's at like 84,000 DPS now. Sitting in town with no buffs up. Which is looking nice. I was thinking we might craft some crazy boots today. Potentially. Is Path of Exile 2 better than Diablo 4 and why? For me, it's a lot more fun. Simply because I think there's a whole lot more build crafting and depth to PoE. Diablo is a fair bit easier and I don't know. To me, PoE feels like it's like a little bit of like a puzzle with your character that you have to solve, and there's so many moving pieces and parts. And Diablo is much more simple. Diablo is still fun, but it's just kind of a different experience. You only got one div? That's totally fine. You can pick up, like, the cool thing about if you're like level 77, you're leveling up, is a lot of your upgrades, which were expensive, now that other people are further, are much cheaper. Like, let's say we just wanted to buy a spiny talisman with 400 fizz DPS, 12 exalts. This is basically what I use to get to T15 maps. You know what I mean? Like, you could genuinely, with one div, you could get all the gear to get to T15 maps easy. And then you start farming some currency. Out of curiosity, looking for us. Freaking God, dude! Yo, night time, dude, the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How you doing today? You know, we could buy like a crazy ring and Calandra's touch it, technically. You can craft a rarity ring? Just found a video on it. Really? What's the max amount of rarity you can get on a ring? Frustrated with your RNG. We could pick up a ring like that. Let's see. What's this?
Hello, everyone. Today,
Holy
I'm
shit.
going to be showing you how I am profit crafting rings. Like this one that sold for 48 divines, these ones that sold for 15, this one that sold for 13. Let's see.
Dude, who bought a ring for 140 div? Jesus Christ.
Section. So here I have an assortment of bases that I bought off a trade. This singular ring is the only one that I bought for 1 divine. The rest of these I bought for 2, and these are I bought all for 3. As you can see, all of them have the same exact 2 mods on them as magic bases, and they are only amethyst, prismatic, and gold rings. because when you are making endgame rings, these are the 3 tier 1 bases or tier 0 bases that everybody is looking for. So obviously
So much in price already.
We are
Really?
looking for a tier 1 flat elemental.
How old is this video?
And all elemental resistances
2 days
on
ago.
here. The reason is when you Calandra's Touch, I believe that all elemental resistances is pound for pound one of the best mods you can have on a ring. As you can imagine, Calandra's touching this alone will give you 40 all or 30 all elemental reses, and if you catalyst it with an elemental catalyst, it will be 40, right? So very important mod. And then a tier 1 flat just to have one on there, as a lot of the meta builds are attack builds, and this is what we're making the rings for, right? So now we have all the bases. Let me just get them all in my inventory. And we are going to be buying a bunch of rarity essences. So I need to liquidate a couple divines. And rarity of items found, greater opulences. We need 11 of them. So now this gives us, since they nerfed rarity, this essence now gives us tier 1 suffix rarity. So as it sits, our rings are now sitting with 3 tier 1 mods, depending on the all elemental reses we bought, right? But we're sitting on 3 tier 1 desirable mods on a tier 1 base, which is already a great start, right? Next, what we're gonna do is we are going to be prefix collarboning. The reason we want a prefix is because when we unveil a prefix, it gives us 3 options. We either get a good flat or rarity that we want to keep. We either get another decent mod, or we get a block. What I mean when I say a block is that we are going to select a mod that is very likely to be hit when we are going to be slamming on with a catalyzing omen on the next step. For example, I'll show you here. Let's assume we want to use an attack catalyst with a catalyzing omen, and we want to exalt.
What's up, Ghost?
Accuracy rating is by far the most common thing we hit. But let's say we hit nothing else on the unveil good, but we managed to get any low tier of accuracy. We actually completely block the option of anybody hitting this, or not anybody, of us getting this mod. So now the only things that have the attack tags that we are more likely to get are the elemental or flat attack damages, right? Now, what's the reason we do not buy physical flat on our magic bases? It is because, as you can see here, physical flat has twice the weight as all the other modifiers, right? As you can see, this is a 7,800 weight as opposed to a 3,900. And when we're going to be using greater orbs, you can still see that this case stands true. And then for perfect, it also stands true. So the reason we don't buy physical mods is because assuming we don't hit accuracy and we hit something else, right? We hit a good flat tier. Instead of using an attack catalyst with the catalyzing omen, we will then proceed to use a physical catalyst with the catalyzing omen. If you don't know what the catalyzing omen does, you apply catalyst of a certain type to the ring, and the type of that tag will be 5 times more likely to be hit on this 7,800 weight, or what would be 3,800 weight, will be multiplied by 5 to something like 17,000, right? So out of, let's say, a 33,000 weight, have 50% chance we will hit a flat fizz, and make sure that our next desecration will only end up on and that's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. Here we hit flat fizz, which honestly is not great, because like I mentioned, that means most likely now when we attack catalyst, we are going to be hitting accuracy on this ring, and that's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're not going to roll over tier 2 flat physical, right? We're just not. Here, oh wow, we're getting lucky. I do believe that is tier 1 cold. Let me see if I have a cold ring sitting here. 21 to 37. Okay, no, this looks like tier 2, but I'm gonna have to be slamming, so it's not a terrible idea to take it. Now, granted, you can Omen of Light if you feel like it and fish for another block or something else. I don't believe that is currently worth what the prices of Omens of Light, but it's your prerogative. Here, we're gonna take rarity, even though it's lowest tier rarity. It's still rarity, making this ring a 24 rarity ring. Still obviously a very valuable Stat. Our desecrated mod. Cold. Tier 3 cold is usable. Oh, it's tier 2, just low rolled, I guess. Final prefix step, I guess. Or we could do the suffix first. It doesn't really matter. I'm definitely gonna need some more exalts. So let's go liquidate.
He's
Chance of
got
attack
4
mods
things.
because we cannot roll accuracy. Anything that does not have accuracy blocked. Now, unfortunately, this does have flat fizz, so we are just gonna have to attack catalyst, and we will most likely roll rarity. I mean, we'll most likely roll accuracy on here. If you want to avoid that, you catalyzing these 2 Reaver catalysts.
Is he going for
Here.
triple attack?
Oh, I need 2 of them. Whoops. But let's slam these 2. So we go prefix, sinestral, both Reaver catalysts, both blocking accuracy. So there is a very high chance that we do hit a second flat. Both of them. As you see, we hit tier 5 lightning here, and we hit tier 2 evasion. So honestly, quite unlucky, but it does happen sometimes. I'm still gonna Omen of Light to remove the... This one needs physical. We're gonna hit accuracy here. Wow, we did not. Holy freak, look at that ring. I'm trying not to curse for YouTube. I don't know if it's gonna affect my These are quite cheap, so I'm using an extension called Xmouse. It is not bannable. It just rebinds your left click to your scroll wheel. So you're still clicking. Nothing is bannable there. Okay, now we go catalyzing, prefix, slams, and we are looking for fizz flat. We hit chaos damage somehow, not exactly sure. There we did hit tier 2 physical flat. Beautiful, look at that, a second ring. And here we hit fire damage.
What's he do for the final
I have the
suffix?
perfect exalted orbs that I plan to use on these 2. I have a bunch of fire catalysts, and I have a bunch of cold catalysts that I'm going to spend on the rest of this rings.
He's trying to hit it. Final
all the
res.
resistances are not the same. Tier 4 fire res is item level 48, and if we're increasing our chances, so I do believe it really is impressive.
Okay, makes sense.
And
Just promise no math. I would craft that differently because I'm not looking for a triple attack on a ring. Oh man, that one's really good, but 10 divine just to start is crazy. What is that? 25? That is a lot of resistances. Here, I'm gonna do something. Let's look for mana, life, oh, that's life regen, mana, life, or cold damage to attacks. We're gonna count 1 and check. Let's look for item level no less than 80. seems to only be going for cold damage. I wonder if people are just not listing the other ones. What to say? We should be able to find a I don't think it goes to 180, that's why. Let's look for a amethyst base. We could work with that for 6 chaos orbs. How do you find corruption on maps? You gotta look for the like bleeding towers out in the distance. The aim on melee build is finished. I just gotta upload it. No music today. Oh, is it not playing? There it is. That's T1 mana, chaos, all res. Could be very spicy. All right, let's... I don't have the essence of opulence. I want to make 2 crafting videos today. By the way, Chevy was teaching me about this yesterday. I don't know if any of you knew this, but I don't know if I'll be able to explain this very well. This is the market ratio, right? If I put 40 exalts in here, I would get one of these instantly. But people are also buying them at 37, 36, 35. Like there's 3,478 for 37. So if we put 37 in here,
I'll fill that in as soon as I can.
won't go instantly, but it should go fairly quickly because there are ones in stock for that price. Only saves you, I mean, it's going to cost you technically a few minutes. We in that sense we like probably don't care about like 3 exalts, but he was showing me that he saves like 40 exalts buying some of the higher priced items. You just wait a few minutes, go run a map, and you'll have it when you have a bag. Trouble's talking about, but I'm playing a controller. Maybe I switch to KBM and it'll be easier. Looks like desync trade. True. Crafting guidepost? Yeah, I bought a base. We're gonna work on that today. Alright, I don't want to wait. I'm decided I'm against waiting.
I'll post it right away.
Alright, greater essence for rarity. Alright. Now let's desecrate. Grab an omen of abyssal echoes. Omen of sinestral. Preserved collarbone. Only prefixes. Because the rarities in a suffix, yeah. Boom. Not sure if we use an abyssal echoes on this. Off of the simple fact that we could literally just buy another base for the price of one of these. You know what I mean? Like, how much is this right now? They're 87. Yeah, I don't... We'll just go again. It's cheaper that way. How much are a preserved collarbone? 33 exalts. My third ascendancy. 300 honor per hit. Go get some honor resistance relics. It mitigates the amount of honor you take per hit. You can make it actually quite easy. Huge track, huge track. We'll pop one, why not? $7 to $10 fizz. I think we re-roll that. Rings, prefixes, added fizz. 7 to 10 is yeah, that's very middle of the road. We wouldn't want that. Oof. Yeah, none of that is good. None of that is good. Technically, you take the increased chaos damage. Can't get anything good. You can get some really good things, yeah. Ooh, I don't like that at all. Good for someone, not good for us. We could sell that as is for a divine. Bum bum. Could finish it and sell it. Until the day I die.
Hey, what's new? Let's see if there are any takers.
We could deterministically craft the rest of this. This is looking like a caster ring now, rather than a attack-based ring. A breach affinity, right? Life, attack, speed, attribute, cold life. Skitterings are 1.3. I'm thinking if this hits potentially cast speed. You can't get energy shield. You technically would want rarity in a perfect world. Even I'd ever like to try, sure. Just curious to see if we want to do this or not. Let's look up this ring. We survive here alone. Let's say it hits cast speed. What does that go for? There's none with cast speed. let's lower the mana to like 150. Chaos to 20. Nothing? What? All right. That one's got the cast speed, the mana, the Ellie res, the chaos resistance. Also to set up one-shot screen tech for chat in T5. Oh, I'm not sure what you're asking. I wouldn't try to go for the one-shot tech in a T5 if you're just in T5 maps. I'd worry about getting to T15s and then use the currency to do it. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out if we finish this ring or sell as is. Okay, let's finish it. Let's just finish it.
All right, your order is registered.
Pray it sells.
All right, your order is registered.
One way in and one way out. Okay. That's 20. Greater Omen of catalyzing. Hit Caspian. We hit lightning resistance. Not the worst thing. How are we looking now? 5 exalts and 5 div. I'm gonna sell as is.
Yes?
Because there's not much that could hit in the prefixes that would raise its value. Imagine if I had cast speed. Cast speed would have been nice.
Yes.
I figured we basically were guaranteeing it there.
Yes?
That'll sell. I don't know if it'll sell for 5 div, but that will sell.
I'm sure someone will want that.
It's a nice rig. What price check are you using? Exiled Exchange 2.
You did well in that. What do you need?
All right, let's record this crafting guide so we can get it up, and then we'll blast some maps for our weapon. They checked Batar's Vengeance. Not yet. Have you tried a heroic tragedy jewel? I've looked at those. Definitely very cool. At the time they looked at them, they would have been like a really, really expensive upgrade. Because I'd kind of want to go all out on one. Am I thinking of the right thing? Oh, no. What am I thinking of? The one that can give you the bonus damage. These aren't as good as they look for us. They change everything. Oh, Undying Hate. No, still not the thing I was thinking of. There's one that just gives you bonus damage, or can roll bonus damage, and a bunch of other things. Heart of the Well. How'd you check what the heroic tragedy was going to change? Because I bought a Medved, and it made my entire build worse, because it changed all my nodes to spell damage. But yeah, I was gonna buy one of these. You can get like bonus damage is extra lightning. You can get crit chance, crit damage, speed. It's randomized for each person. Yeah, makes it very, very tough to acquire. Extra cold, extra lightning, and crit. Is it real? Can I keep up the fun? Yeah, I'd potentially pick up something like this. Could be nice. Ooh, that's a nice one. Dude, my POB has been like not working all day. Just insta crashes. I fresh reinstalled it and still like insta crashes. This is the wrong build. See, this is the thing. I checked this earlier, and I'm kind of surprised by it. But if I put on this Heart of the Well with extra cold, extra lightning, attack speed, rage on hit, versus my current jewel, which was the Gale Scar. I'm going from 2.543 DPS to 2.48, picking up like 5,000 DPS over a crit damage pen, like attack speed jewel. So potentially interesting, but I don't know if it's worth the upgrade right now. Try copying it into the config. Extra cold damage. That worked. Goes me to 2532. 2532 versus 2340. And my Gale Scar goes me to 2543. So no, it's not. It's valuing the cold pen way higher than the extra damage. Zero notifications. Really sad. What's up, Vale? Saw the clips on Twitter. Dude, builds popping off. It's been a lot of fun. Also, I didn't realize it, but there's a modifier on your armor that you can get. That is, armor applies to chaos damage. Which is kind of crazy. So is Borderlands 4 going the way of Wonderlands? I mean, Borderlands 4 is definitely not popping right now, but it's also definitely not going the way of Wonderlands in that it's got, it's got like full story DLCs and extra characters and all that stuff on the way. You know what I mean? Wonderlands, they just kind of stopped support for. So very different in that sense. But no, it's been I've been pulling my hairs out over it, dude. Like, I don't know, the post-launch support for it just hasn't been great. It's been very, very disappointing. And updates are slow. Give me that spear, please. But like Jolt's tweeted out last night, or posted last night, that he's going back to Beal 2. Boom, boom, boom. The most frustrating part of it for me is I feel like they learned a bunch of lessons in BL3, and it took them years to get BL3 into a great state.
Or too high caliber for the 10% gun damage? I get a little confused about what's multiplicative and what's additive. Or am I dumb and for Peace Breakers it's 30% skill damage just...
You're not dumb. The what's multiplicative and what's additive, it doesn't tell you anywhere. We wouldn't know unless people tested it. The game doesn't have anything that just says it's a multiplicative damage increase. They all say they're additive, but they're actually multiplicative. How much playtime on BL4? I think I've got like 800 hours. Building your character is so much more complicated than D4. See, that's the funny thing about that is that's what draws me to this game over D4. D4 it feels like to me. I mean, we're like reworking the skill trees or whatever, so that's gonna be sick. But to me, in the past, it doesn't feel like yours has much build crafting, which is to me is like a main reason I enjoy games. Oh, that is very scary. Oh, I fell. Oh, he fell. Once you fall, it's GG's. Do something funny. Sad. You have every element working on this build? Technically, yeah. I was watching back our boss footage, by the way, and we were shocking them just by, just with our bonus shock damage, which was very nice. We're gonna use a perfect on that. charged mark will let us shock enemies as well, which should be nice.
Oh, it's you.
Buy some white heavy belt to try to chance one. You know what I mean? Physical damage is more important, or elements? You want elemental damage on anywhere but your weapon, and on your weapon you want fizz damage. It's kind of how that works out for our end game. What's up, Dutchie? Doing well? What do you have? 41 divines. Trading. Honestly, the best money-making method is crafting. Which is tough, because you need divines to do the crafting, but...
I'm not ready yet.
I just bought a ring for like 20 chaos. It took me maybe about a divine of currency to spend onto it, and it'll probably sell for like 5 divines.
Darkness descends, and with it, your end.
Thank you.
What is it?
What the heck is this wolf? This is a very explosive wolf. Very, very explosive wolf. Me hanging by a friend. Thought Oracle was a healer. Nope, definitely not. Definitely not. Not in this game. Oracle is an ascendancy of the druid. There's not really like... It's not an MMO, so there's not really like a healing class or archetype.
Restore. ready yet.
Boop. I think maybe we go this one. Skadoosh. Good old temp chains, holy.
Nature takes what's old. More than enough.
Is that an enemy? There's an enemy here. I can't tell where they are though. Thank you. What do you use besides Handhunter? Oh, I just use a resistance, max life, health regen, helmet, or belt. You could technically, if you really wanted to go to, like Rice Latha's coil, but I don't think that would be worth for us. Rice Lathas, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, can give you a higher top end fizz damage, which is pretty nice, but fizz damage is only a very, very small part of our build. These guys are just not gonna freeze. Where does my huge AoE come from? So the tech that we're doing is our Herald of Ice is causing armor break. That armor break, when an enemy gets their armor broken, they explode in fire damage. We've got like over 120% bonus cold damage on the build. So when that explosion happens in fire, it chains to, or when that explosion happens in fire, it is associated with a bunch of extra bonus cold on top of it, and then that can proc another Herald proc, that can then proc a another armor explosion, and it just chains. My Headhunter, also, if I get the modifier from an enemy, I can get extra AoE. But the tech works without the Headhunter. Headhunter definitely helps for, like, the huge, huge explosions, though. Apparently, the way I originally set up this build was with, like, 2 different weapon sets. So that we could have a weapon set for, like, extra AoE for Lunar Blessing and Herald of Ice and stuff like that. But Lunar Blessing wasn't working on weapon swaps. Like, you couldn't have it in a weapon swap and then it wouldn't call down meteors if you weapon swap. So like if I cast Lunar Blessing on weapon 2, I can't move. If you cast Lunar Blessing on weapon 2, and then you shred on weapon 1, Lunar Blessing Moon Beams wouldn't come down, but apparently that's been fixed. So we could technically go for even more AoE now. Because we should be able to use 2 weapon sets, which we haven't been doing. I think we're done with this map.
Begone, foul creature!
Should you remove a bunch of extra elements from the tree? No, those don't matter. Those should not matter. And 2. Those aren't terrible, but I don't think they sell. What's the purpose of using Ancestral Bond? Because we can spec nodes. If we click this, I can spec these nodes without having to click all the little passives on the way to it. See how I'm clicking these nodes, but I'm not actually spec to them? That's because I clicked Ancestral Bond. With our 4th Ascendancy point, Entwined Realities, non-keystone passive skills in a medium radius of allocated keystone passive skills can be allocated without being connected to your tree. So we don't have to spend any skill points on all this wasted stuff to get there. If you don't have your 4th Ascendancy point, don't worry about it. Is it worth? It's so worth. I do have a leveling guide, gym owner. I've got a leveling guide, but I also have a Maxroll planner that goes through literally every stage of the game and videos for every stage of the game that we've been in. So like you can watch there's a leveling guide here, which covers the very start. This is where we beat the campaign. This is getting to maps. And then this is our like end game map build. Should play more often. Finally an art divine. Let's go. You have his only end game. No, not true. So the way that the Maxroll planner works is there's tabs for different things that you want to do. So if you go to mine currently, you can, for example, go to the passive tree and look at the Act 1 spec and then the Act 2 spec. You can look at my Act 1 skills, Act 2 skills, Act 3. You can look at the early game gear, end game, uber end game. You should have every little thing laid out for you so that you can progress very smoothly. Where the fuck is the Corrupted Nexus? It's a big glowy blood beam out in the sky. You could see it in the fog. I don't know if I have one. That looks like it leads to one. I'm trying to look at the effect. This thing. Looks like that. Corrupted Nexus. You'll see the little blood coming out of the clouds. If you've got one nearby. So I know which farm strategy he uses. Oh, Right now, I'm using Abyss and Breach together with Irradiated, and we're just farming those maps. I don't know if I'm really using, like, a farming strategy, though. To be honest. Alright, let's make this video. Kind of hard to price check. I would list it for 20 div and see. Onslaught on weapon isn't terrible. It's also redundant. Yep, very true. It's really nice for mapping, but obviously doesn't do anything for bossing. The thing is, it's guaranteed, which is nice. Alright, we're gonna try recording a crafting guide live. What could go wrong? We're gonna do the craft live. I was just gonna edit over the one that we made, but I feel like it would be so many cuts and things that it wouldn't be worth. Yo, guys. Yo guys, what is up? Moxie in our Path of Exile 2 video, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a crafting guide to how to make what I'm dubbing an explosive talisman. Basically, this is going to be a talisman that has a lot of fizz damage on it, plus level of attacks with extra fizz on it and attack speed. We can also get onslaught on our weapon. Now note that you can, like, there are better talismans out there. However, this craft is, like, not guaranteed, but it's you can at a certain point. I never want to use the word guaranteed. You can make this literally every time, though. Yo guys, what is up? Max in our Path of Exile 2 video, and today we're going to be going over how to craft the weapon that I'm using for our, like, final form, a werewolf build. Now, there are other crafting guides out there. I will have a reference to Wooly's crafting guide and Localhall's crafting guide down below. Both excellent guides. I made my weapon a little bit differently, and I wanted to show you off how, because we can save a few divines. It is a little bit more risky, technically, but with this craft, you can pretty much, you're going to basically guarantee that you're going to be getting these rolls on your weapons. How many times it takes and how much currency it costs to make these rolls could vary. But we're going to go over everything that you need to know about how to make pretty much a GG weapon for our wolf build and why it's so important to make the extra fizz on it for our big explosions. Deterministic. Yeah. We'll try one more time. Yo guys, what is up? Mox in our Path of Exile 2 video, and today we're going to be going over how to craft the talisman that I'm using in our final form werewolf build. Now, the reason that we're using this particular weapon in this particular craft, which is a high fizz spiny talisman with the Exalt Slam for bonus extra fizz, is so that we can use armor tech. Now, this is a very deterministic craft. We can make this weapon basically and replicate it over and over. What the different rolls are and how well it rolls can vary, but it is a quite deterministic craft to do. And we're going to be going for the bonus extra physical damage on our weapon, because it allows us to get extra fizz damage, which allows us to break armor on enemies. And when armor is breaking on enemies, they explode with this build. And when we explode armor, we also have like over 100% bonus cold. So armor explosions are proccing Herald Device. Herald Device is proccing armor explosions, and it will chain throughout your map, giving you pretty crazy AoE clear. So I wanted to break down how to make this weapon. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let's do this. So before we dive in, I do want to mention that there's two other great crafting guides by Wooly and also by Localhaul. They crafted a little bit different weapons and a little bit different methods. So that's why I wanted to make this video, as I wanted to show off how we can make this weapon with the bonus fizz and also save a few divines while making it. So the very first step that we're going to want to look for is a good magic base. What? That's a little early. Yeah. Can we do something later? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm done. No, it's just early. Sorry about that. So for finding a magic base, you want to open up the market. So for finding up a magic base, you want to open up the market. You can just go and hit your little panel and then go to market panel at the bottom of your screen. Then we're going to look for a talisman. For this build, we're particularly looking for spiny talismans. You can get other talismans with crit chance, which can be better than a spiny talisman. But if we don't have crit chance, this build really, really wants a high base crit chance weapon. And the spiny talismans always roll with at minimum 11% crit chance, which is great for this build. Currently, we're sitting at like 35% crit chance. We don't really want to go above 40%, so that is where we're at right now. So on your spiny talisman, you're going to want to put in item level 80 minimum, which is going to allow us to view only 80 spiny talismans. We're going to put our item rarity to magic, and then we're going to look for increased fizz damage. Now, how much increased fizz damage depends on your budget. If we put in a 160, and then the next thing you want to look for, the next thing in your stat filter is we're going to be looking for increased fizz damage. Now, how much increased fizz damage depends on your budget. If you have a fair bit of divines, I would estimate this craft, you're going to want to try to go in with around 8 divines to make this and make sure that you can finish this craft. And depending on how many divines you have is how good of a base you can pick up. So for example, like a 160 fizz talisman gives us a T2 fizz. You can look for like 156, which is a lower roll, which will save you a divine. It's still T2, just a slightly lower percent. And then if you want to look for like 140, you can look for a T3 talisman. Just kind of depends on your budget, how much you want to spend on your base. Regardless of your base, you're still looking for a spiny talisman that's level 80, and this base will determine basically the end damage of the weapon. So spending more upfront will get you a better talisman. But for example, if we could look for like a 136 fizz for 180 exalts, or we could go all the way to 160 for extra. The one that I bought was around a 160 physical damage talisman for 4 divines for the purpose of this video. Exclamation mark build midnight. I'm gonna record that one more time. 179 for the win. How much is that? Literally nothing, doesn't exist. 170. 16. Okay. The next thing we're going to be looking for on our Spiny Talisman is increased physical damage. This is one of the most important stats and also one of the hardest stats to hit on your weapon. Depending on your budget is going to be depending on like how expensive and how much you can afford on your base. For T2 Fizz above 160, it's around 4 divines. If you go for like 156, you can save yourself a divine and pick up a 3 divine one. 156 just guarantees that it's going to be T2. You could also look for like 120. If you're on more of a budget, you could pick up like a 120 or 140 for 2 divines. Once again, like this is just the most important thing is that you get a weapon with percent fizz damage. And then the suffix, because fizz damage is a prefix, the suffix does not matter. We're going to be removing it. So whether it has a good suffix or not doesn't matter. It will be deleted regardless. Now, if you don't have any of these spiny talismans and things like that, you don't have the divines to purchase them, you can also always get lucky trying to make your own. I will have a loot filter down below that will highlight spiny talismans and good bases that are dropping at a decent item level. That one's not a great example, but if you pick them up, which the loot filter will highlight white items for you, there they are. Take number 8 action. It's going to take a few. If you don't have any currency to buy a magic one at all, and you are just kind of starting from fresh, I will have a loot filter linked down below that will highlight high-level spiny talismans that are white bases that you can just pick up. And this one's not white, but you could just pick up and greater orb of transmutation, greater orb of augmentation, or perfect orb, depending on like what you have, and just look for a percent fizz. If you hit it, you can sell it or use it for this craft, but you don't need to buy one necessarily. You can just like pick up white ones and keep constantly using transmutations and seeing if you get lucky. It is pretty unlikely to hit percent fizz. That's why they're so expensive to buy, but you are able to like kind of find your own. All right, let's collect what we need. Okay. There's our greater essence of abrasion, perfect essence of battle, perfect essence of haste. Preserved jawbone. Omen of dextral crystallization. Omen of abyssal echoes. Amanamanu. Anything else we're missing? Boom, 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 boom. Some exalts. All right, so for this craft, we're gonna need a essence of haste, essence of battle, greater essence of abrasion, a preserved jawbone, a omen of dextral crystallization, an omen of abyssal echoes, an omen of the liege, and some exalted orbs. All of these things you can farm yourselves or just buy from the trade market. The most expensive things here are the omen of dextral crystallization and also the perfect essence of battle. Dextral crystallization, I think, is like 2 divs. And the way that we're going to be crafting this is a little bit riskier, but you're not going to need to use 2 of them. You're only going to need to use 1. And I'll explain how we're going to do that in a second. But yeah, these are right now like 188 exalted orbs, which are very, very expensive. All right, so our first step, once you have your base with % increased fizz and literally any suffix, this is a T2 165 fizz with increased accuracy and light radius. Our first step is going to be to greater essence of abrasion. This means that it's going to upgrade to rare and give us our guaranteed added fizz. Added fizz is super important because it is multiplied by the, or increased by the local increased fizz. So this is already, just by doing this, going to give us a pretty solid, like, damage weapon. We hit 28 to 50. That's actually pretty solid. So right now, this is a, like, 470 DPS weapon. We haven't even done, like, the rest of the stuff to it. So next up is our expensive step. However, it is a basically guaranteed step. You can't like mess this up. Oop, I want a greater essence of abrasion. Oh, sorry, perfect essence. There are 5 exalts. Our next step is we are going to use a perfect essence of abrasion. I forgot to mention this, but this is the one that is going to give us the bonus physical damage. These currently cost about 5 exalteds, so they're super easy to use. However, we are going to need to use the omen of dextral crystallization. The omen of dextral crystallization, when we click it, and make sure you're always right-clicking these things, while this item is active in your inventory, your next perfect or corrupted essence will only remove suffix mods. So what this means is when we use our perfect essence of abrasion, we're going to guarantee remove whatever suffix was on, which is why you don't care about the suffix you buy, and guarantee give us the bonus fizz. And we hit 29% of our damage as extra fizz, about right in the middle. But now our prefixes are done on this weapon. We've got percent fizz, we've got added fizz, and now we've got our bonus fizz. And our next step is going to be making our suffixes. About to show you, Esu. bam, bam. You had the desecrate and don't reveal. Yep. I just want to make sure I don't fuck this up. So we're gonna desecrate with Omen of Dextral Necromancy plus Omen of the Liege, and then plus our Preserved Jawbone, and then I'm gonna Exalt Slam 2 rolls, and then try to rip them off, and then if we get lucky, we reveal. Do I technically need to use Necromancy? The Essence can replace the Desecrate, yeah. Let me just double check that we're doing this correctly. Craft of Exile. It doesn't have my extra fizz on it in Craft of Exile. Do. Suffix, perfect essence of abrasion. And dextral crystallization. That gives us our weapon. Now we do an exalt. Could technically do 2. Desecrate our preserved jawbone with Omen of Dextral Necromancy. This is a nice way to practice. Yeah. And then Greater Essence of Battle. Our suffixes are full, so this can't remove a prefix. Oh, sorry, we would want to use haste first. Okay, that ripped off our thing. Perfect Essence of Battle. That ripped that off. Essence of Haste. There's our onslaught. There's our +5 levels. We should only do 1 suffix, not 2. Desecration, omen. Maxroll crystallization, only remove suffix mods. That leech will just not go. Let's see. I was trying to save currency on not slamming it. Regardless of what you do, you're always running the risk of removing your thing. What? Nothing. All right, I see what we're gonna do. Oh, I see what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the 2 on and then gamble the exalt to see if we want it for the haste. So, let's say this is our weapon. We add a exalt. We hit stun duration. That's okay. We then you do have to fill it up. If you don't want to spend the extra 2 div, you do have to spend it, fill it up, but then it gets risky. What do you think we should advise people to do? So either you can fill it up and then remove it with desecrations and omens. So like we can desecrate here, and then that's full suffixes, so they get perfect essence of battle. We hit our thing, which can happen. Omen, Dextral Chris. Oh wait, no. Dextral neck. Desecrate. So then you're either done here with your leech fizz damage as mana, or you could gamble for the perfect essence of haste. Ruin for the prefixes, then used omen to add 2 exalt mods, then desecrate, then double essence to try to hit all suffixes. You didn't use a dextral necromancy. There it is. Is up to the guide. Will do. I'm just probably gonna remove that and just put link to this once we're done. Alright, it's deleted. It's technically your fault. I didn't write that. It was sent to me by a chatter. Bum 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 bum. All day without Herald of Ice on wasn't a fun day today. Like you accidentally had it off. Yeah, you didn't realize. Oh, I would have realized immediately. All right, so So now that we have our prefixes finished, we've got our percent fizz, we've got our added fizz, and now we've got our gain damage as extra physical. There's a bunch of different ways to finish this, and how safely you finish it basically depends on your amount that you want to spend. Oop, I just ran out of recording space. So now that we have our prefixes finished, there's a bunch of different ways to fill the suffixes. The safety and reliability of how you do that basically depends on how much you're willing to spend. So, for example, we're going to want to put on at least the Essence of Battle, right? This gives our two-handed melee weapons or crossbows +5 level of attack skills. This will remove a random modifier and augment our rare weapon with our +5 levels. So, for example, we can just Exalt Slam 3 times to get completely random suffixes. And then when we get our random suffixes, we can, once they're filled up, we can Essence of Haste and then Essence of Battle to basically put on our onslaught and put on our plus levels of attacks. And that saves us a Omen of Dextral Crystallization because you can only have 3 suffixes and 3 prefixes. So if our prefixes are full and our suffixes are full, we can do that without potentially ripping the prefixes out. And it saves us about almost 2 divines with not having to use the Omen of Dextral Crystallization. The issue here is if you're not using the Omen of Dextral Crystallization to add your suffixes more safely, you have the chance every time that you add something to rip something that you've added. So we typically will want to go in order of cost so that when we're adding our suffixes, we're adding the things that cost the least first and then adding the things that cost the most last. So you'd want to use your perfect Essence of Battle last, because if you have 3 and your Dextral Necromancy or Desecration on it, God, this is tough to explain. I could just do it here to show. So I kind of want to show you like a Craft of Exile example for filling the suffixes, because how you do that depends on how much you want to spend. So, for example, we can guarantee we want 2 perfect essences on this, right? The perfect essence of battle, which gives us +5 into our attack skills. Person's essence of haste, which isn't mandatory. We do get onslaught from our Savage Fury, so it's a little redundant, but it is very nice for maps. But we want to add both of these things. Now, if we want to add a perfect essence without filling up these suffixes, we need to use our Omen of Dextral Crystallization, this thing, which does cost around 2 divines. However, if our suffixes are full, let's say we just Exalt here, that actually ended up going very poorly because we hit plus level of melee skills. It happens. We could just simulate in case this happens. But you can fill up your suffixes on the weapon, and now we're going to do things to get rid of them, to get the things that we want. The reason we'd fill is because in order to add things, it has to remove things, and we don't want to remove our prefixes. So if we do a Desecration now, and we're going in order of cost, we would want to Omen of Dextral, we're going to Omen with our Dextral Necromancy. This will mean that we'll only remove a suffix with our next Desecration. So here we've got melee, fizz, and crit chance. Looks like we removed the crit chance, and now we can perfect Essence of Haste. We're trying to remove this plus level of melee skills, but because this is full, then we can do this. Now we removed our Desecration. Unlucky there. You'd probably go back to then Desecrating again, and we're just kind of cycling here to try to get the things that we want. So now we're desecrating a suffix. Now we've got our onslaught, we've got our desecrated suffix, and we've got our random suffix, which, by the way, you'd want to desecrate with a Amara, which we'll talk about in a second. And then we could perfect Essence of Battle. The issue with doing this method is every time that you're doing this, you're having a chance of ripping off something that you've already added. So we could rip off the onslaught, we could rip off our desecrated, or we have a 33%. It says that on Craft of Exile, that means it tried to go for a prefix. It can't rip a prefix off because the weapon is full. It has to rip a suffix, and there we hit our weapon. So we got lucky there. We've got our onslaught. We've got our plus level attacks. This should have been an Amara suffix, but then we could go for Amara guarantees that this would be a attack speed. So then our weapon would be finished. But once again, on that last step with the perfect Essence of Battle, we could also rip off the onslaught. There we got it again. We got lucky. We kept the onslaught. We got our plus levels, and we got our desecrated suffix. No, you could just desecrate over a suffix. You don't need it. Now, the little bit less risky way of doing it, but it costs an extra 2 div, is to not fill the suffixes and then use an omen of Dextrol. Now, the other way to do this, which is a little bit more expensive, kind of depends on what you want on the weapon, but we can, for example, go and Exalt Slam this to just get a random suffix, and then perfect Essence of Battle with the expensive Dextral Necromancy, which is going to guarantee us to rip off our suffix. That gives us +5 levels of attack skills. Then we could desecrate with our Omen of the Liege with our desecration. That gives us our guaranteed suffix, which, by the way, will always have... It didn't work on this, but that will always have attack speed. I think I had to click these first. Crit damage would be nice. Ba-ba-bum. Once we have our plus level of attacks, we can... Omen of the Liege with Dextral Necromancy. We gotta click Preserve Jawbone, and then Omen of the Liege, Dextral Necromancy. And that will give us our desecrated attack speed. So then we have 18% attack speed plus levels. And then at this step, you could greater exalt. So here we hit stun duration. So stun duration, bad. We wouldn't want that. You could be done with the weapon here. The next step is very, very risky. And that is we can perfect Essence of Haste. This depends on your risk tolerance. But basically, if we perfect Essence of Haste here, we can get our plus levels of attacks to get destroyed. We can ruin our attack speed, or we could ruin our stun duration. We're praying we ruin the stun duration. We got lucky there. There we got the +5 levels of attacks, our attack speed, and our onslaught, and our weapon is done. However, you could just finish there and call it a day. One ALG unique, huge. What? Yeah, it's more fun.
It's at Brooklyn Storehouse. It's like a sick venue that we can walk to.
Cool, let's do it.
Right. $100 per ticket. I'm just gonna do it, okay?
Yeah.
Like this vibe. Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. Isn't that the same thing, though? Well, one, they are kind of similar. But one you can kind of end early. One you really don't. You don't really want to end early. Yeah, I crafted my amulet. All right, let's just do it live and see what happens. All right, so now let's do our suffixes, and we'll just kind of do it live. Now, I'm going to do the cheaper method that could depend. So now let's do it live. We're just going to do our suffixes. I'm going to do the cheaper version to save us the omen of dextral crystallization. You can use this or not. I'm going to see, basically, I'm curious about this craft. I want to see if I could hit crit chance or crit damage on this. So I'm going to use some greater exalts just to see what this weapon hits. We're potentially ripping them all off anyways. So you don't need to use greater exalts, but let's just see what we get. The risk with using greater exalts is you can hit plus level to melee skills, but you could also hit like a very high level of melee skills. So let's just see where we go. So we got crit damage per enemy killed. That's not great. Could potentially work with that. We're going to go one more to see if we hit like crit chance, and then we're going to get to our crafting. We hit leech. So now our suffixes are full. We've got crit damage, mana, and leech. So now we're going to start adding the things that we care about in order of cost. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab a Omen of Dextral Necromancy. This means that our next Desecration will only add suffix modifiers. Also going to use the Omen of the Liege, which means that we're going to only get a Aminamanu modifier. This guarantees you the companion attack speed mod, which gives us attack speed and our companion's attack speed. We mainly care about just getting our attack speed. If you do get lucky and hit an attack speed here, you wouldn't have to desecrate for attack speed. I unfortunately did not get lucky. But we really want to make sure that we hit Omen of Dextral Necromancy here so that it only adds a desecrated suffix, as we don't want to ruin our prefixes because they're obviously really, really good. So that is going to get rid of one of our suffixes, and then now we've got our desecrated attack speed. Now we're going to go order of cost, which now we're going to use our Essence of Haste. The Essence of Haste could hit our Desecration, so that's why we're not going to reveal yet, because it could potentially knock that off. But now we use our Desecration, and now we've got our Mana on Kill, our Onslaught, and our Desecration. And now things will get pricey, and depending on how like risk averse you are on this craft is how much you want to get crazy with it. But I'm going to now perfect Essence of Battle. The reason I'm perfect Essence of Battling last is because it's the most expensive of all of these. So if we put it on first and then rip it off, then you're down a lot of currency. So I'm praying that this hits Mana on Kill. If it hits the Onslaught, that sucks. That's like 50 exalts. If it hits the Desecration, doesn't really matter. It's pretty cheap. And we got the... we hit the Onslaught. So now we've got Mana on Kill, plus levels of attacks, and our attack speed. And once again, we're not having to use the Dextral Crystallization because our suffixes are full. So here, the weapon could be done. We've got Mana on Kill, which is actually very good for this build. We've got plus levels of attacks, and then we could get attack speed. If you want the onslaught now at this point, let's say you didn't get lucky and you ripped off the onslaught or you ripped off your desecration, you would just go back to essence cycling. So now at this point, we would go back and do another essence of haste to try to rip off the mana. However, you could rip off the attack or you could rip off your desecration. If it rips off either of those, you could just keep cycling and going back again. So you essence of haste now. If it hits the +5 level of attacks, then you got to use another essence of battle. Basically, it depends on how expensive you want to get with this. But you know, you can get lucky, get it your first try, or it might take a few. Just to kind of like price check this, let's quality it and artificer orbit. Let's go reveal too. Add our damage runes to it. That puts us at 538 physical DPS, and we haven't even revealed our desecrated attack speed yet. So the reason that we don't reveal this yet is because we're going to want to use an Omen of Abyssal Echoes to check what that rolled. And these are pretty expensive. The reason we use Abyssal Echoes is because we're guaranteed to hit attack speed, but that attack speed could roll from 12% to 18%. So you want to make sure that you get a higher percent roll. I'm going to say that I'm happy with this weapon here. Mana on kill is actually really, really strong on this build. Can save you some rolls on your things. So we're going to use a Omen of Abyssal Echoes. We'll click this, and we'll go reveal and check what the rest of this weapon is at. So now we're going to go to our Well of Souls. And make sure that we have our Omen of Abyssal Echo clicked. This is going to give us our guaranteed attack speed. Let me move my camera. So we reveal. We hit 17% on the first one. That's fantastic. I'm not going to risk it. If you hit like a 12 or a 13 or even 14%, you can reroll and check. And once again, you don't need to use this. It's just if you're spending the currency, you might as well make sure that you get good attack speed because you are guaranteed to roll attack speed on it. We can grab this and check. Now our weapon is a 624 physical DPS weapon with crit chance, gain extra fizz, plus level of attacks. I'm not going to price check the mana on kill. And it looks like, for the most part, they're around 10 to 12 divines. So you could use this yourself or use it as a way to craft for profit. Just really, really nice method. And we'll pretty much, you know, deterministically give you a weapon that you can use in the hardest content in the game. If it hits a desecration again and it replaces a random suffix, if you desecrate again, or if it hits a desecrate and removes it, then you just add the desecration again. You want to make sure that you're using the Omen of Dextral Necromancy if you desecrate again, so that it guarantees hits the desecrate on the suffix. Otherwise, it can hit the prefix, which would be really bad. Bum, bum, bum.
I have a buyer. Can I help? Hail.
Gonna put it up for 12 Divinos.
I'm sure someone will want that.
Let's go 14. The last one sold for 14. It should
Sure.
sell for 14. These are like 596, 606, 580. Ours should look at for a 620 DPS. Oh, I definitely just underlisted that. Voodoo. Yours is 600. Yeah. All the ones listed are onslaught ones, though, that are higher. Ours doesn't have onslaught on it. Let's do a currency total on... Let's add them all up. Abyssal Echoes... Google Sheets. So, Abyssal Echoes is 86. Exalts. Omen of Dextral Crystal. Greater Essence of Battle. Greater Essence of Haste. Base Weapon. Greater Essence of Battles, 3 Exalts. What? Oh, whoopsies. Perfect Essence. $97 Exalts. Greater Essence of Haste was like 50. Yeah. What? Yes. I don't know.
Yes? suits you.
So kind of in like a cost analysis breakdown. So in a kind of cost analysis breakdown, with the Abyssal Echoes, the Omen of Dextral Crystallization, our Greater Essence of Battle, Greater Essence of Haste, our base weapon, our Dextral Necromancy, our Preserved Jawbone, that cost us around to craft 197 Exalts, which in Divines is about 6.2 Divines total, and that weapon will probably sell for like 14 Divines to 12 Divines. Depends on how lucky. If we got the Onslaught on it, it would probably sell for 20. So decent way to make some currency, but also to make your weapon. If you're trying to make your perfect weapon and you have some Divines, you can... And then when you do get your perfect, you use it and you sell off all the other byproducts. Your Exalts say 1097. Yeah, it's 1,000 Exalt cost. I also wasn't recording. In kind of like a cost analysis breakdown, for those of you that are interested, if you're wondering if you should just buy your own or craft it, once again, choice is up to you. But if you do want to craft it, that with the Abyssal Echoes, Omen of Dextral Crystallization, Greater Essence of Battle, Greater Essence of Haste, our base weapon, our Dextral Necromancy, our Preserved Jawbone, cost us around 1,000 Exalts to craft. That total cost in Divines is around 6 Divines. We're selling it right now. I put it up for like 14. It could sell for 12. Could sell for less, could sell for more. If we got lucky and got the Onslaught on it, currently an Onslaught with the like haste, the battle, and the attack speed with like 600 DPS, which ours could have hit. I got unlucky on that slam. Would sell for about 20 Divines right now in the market. And if you want to do this, you could technically just buy them, craft them, and then instead of essence cycling over and over, sell the byproducts until you get the perfect one, and then use that yourself. Once again, your basic chance of getting your perfect one with our crafting method is around a 33% chance on that last little bit, and then you could just spend more to essence cycle it. But that is our little bit of a breakdown. Once again, all of this changes with how the market changes. All of the prices for everything here is constantly going up. So our base weapon cost us 4 Divines. The more people that know about this method, the more that price is going to go up. The more people that are in the end game that are getting Divines and Exalts to drop, the prices of all of this is going to constantly keep going up. So, depending on when you're watching this video, the price breakdown could definitely change. But that is what it like costs to make and like how to make it currently. Oh, sorry. This should be perfect essence. You know what we're missing is the Greater Essence of Abrasion. That's definitely not how you spell abrasion. It's 3 exalts. Doesn't really add anything. All right, I'll record that one more time because it was confusing with the perfects. So all in all, with our crafting method, that cost with the Abyssal Echoes, Omen of Dextral Crystallization, Perfect Essence of Battle, Perfect Essence of Haste, Greater Abrasion, our base weapon, the Dextral Necromancy, the Preserved Jawbone. Oh, I gotta add the Omen of the Liege. That's also really cheap. It's 6 exalts. Cool. All right, we should be good now. Also, let's not blind people. So all in all, in terms of craft and profit and all those things, if you're interested in it, with the Omen of Abyssal Echoes, Omen of Dextral Crystallization, these are all converted to Exalt costs, Perfect Essence of Battle, Perfect Essence of Haste, Greater Abrasion, the base weapon, the Dextral Necromancy, the Preserved Jawbone, and the Omen of the Liege. Costs about 1,100 Exalts, which comes down in the current market to around 6.16 divines, meaning that, you know, most of your upfront cost is going to be the cost of your weapon. I spent 4 div on the weapon. Everything else added up to a little bit over 2 div to do the actual craft. And that weapon will sell for most likely 12 to 14 divines. If we had gotten the Perfect Essence of Haste with the Perfect Essence of Battle and our attack speed on it, that's about a 20 div weapon, and you could essence cycle it over and over again till you get all those things. But once again, when you're doing that, it definitely adds up to the cost. Currently, I'm just going to sell that because I have a good weapon already. But if you wanted to do this crafting method, you could do your crafting method. If it doesn't hit perfect on your first go around, which you have a 33% chance of having all 3 of those perfect your first time, then you could sell that byproduct, buy another one with the profits, and then go again to try to make your perfect one. And then when you do get a perfect one, you could sell that off. But currently, definitely a relatively easy craft to do. It's a lot of complicated moving parts, but I hope this video helped you, and I hope it helps make an awesome weapon that you can use with this build, as getting that extra bonus fizz damage allows for some pretty crazy explosions. Guys, it's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. All right, we're done with the video. I don't think I'm going to include that Craft of Exile section just because it was very complicated. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm going to try to edit this video and post it real quick. Build is awesome. Saving for Miraculous Flow. Any tips for surviving Final Ascendancy? Yes. Buy resistance, honor resistance relics. If you have 75% honor resistance, it will feel like you can't take damage. Just go to your trade filter and look for is it this? Oh, no, that's max honor res. We just want honor resistance. You don't want any of those. You can buy things like these. Plus 25 to honor resist. It's 2 exalts. Plus 20 to honor res. You can actually get max honor and honor res on the same one as well. These are 5 exalts. 20% increase max honor, 27 honor res. You spend 15 exalts and it's basically free. Get 75% honor resistance. It's basically... It works the same way the elemental resistance works. So you have a... When you get hit, it takes 75% less honor. It's huge. Absolutely massive. I prefer on kill personally. We're gonna do the craft. Pricey, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate that. Yo, guys, video, and today we're gonna be doing. Yo, guys, what is the guide? Yeah. Yo, guys, particular weapon in this particular craft.
That's a lot of damage.
85 different Andros. Then by Wooly. We dive in. So before. Then crash around me. That I'm using in. Yo guys, what is up? Max and our Path of Exile 2 video, and today we're going to be going over how to craft the talisman that I'm using in our final form werewolf build. Now, the reason that we're using this particular weapon in this particular craft, which is a high fizz spiny talisman with the Exalt Slam for bonus extra fizz, is so that we can use armor tech. Now, this is a very deterministic craft. We can make this weapon basically and replicate it over and over. What the different rolls are and how well it rolls can vary, but it is a quite deterministic craft to do. And we're going to be going for the bonus extra physical damage on our weapon, because it allows us to get extra fizz damage, which allows us to break armor on enemies. And when armor is breaking on enemies, they explode with this build. And when we explode armor, we also have like over 100% bonus cold. So armor explosions are proccing Herald Device. Herald Device is proccing armor explosions, and it will chain throughout your map, giving you pretty crazy AoE clear. So I wanted to break down how to make this weapon. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let's do this. Seen better days. So before we dive in, I do want to mention that there. So before we dive, a few divines while making it. So the very first step that we're gonna want to look for is a good magic base. Boom, boom, boom. Good to know. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's so immensely helpful to get honor res. Let me just grab all of this. don't think we're gonna be using any of those Craft of Exiles. Nothing doesn't exist. The next thing we're gonna be currency to buy is a good magic base. The next thing we're going to be looking for on our Spiny Talisman is increased physical damage. This is one of the most... I'm going to record that one more time. Woolly's Craft... Yo, guys, what is up, Max? That's not the right video. Doesn't exist. 170. 16. The next thing we're going to be looking... So before we dive in, I do want to... I'm making it. So, to look for is a good magic base. So before we dive in, that's why I wanted to make step that we're gonna want to look for. I think I just didn't record. What is that? The next thing we're gonna be looking for on our Spiny Talus. I'm gonna record that one more time. 1 sec. Yeah, it just didn't go. Okay. Bum bum bum. So you're going to want to open up your market. You can do so just by like going to your panel or hitting your little like side dash key. I don't know what the right term for that is, but we're going to be looking for talismans with spiny talismans. Spiny talismans because they have the highest base crit chance. We are a crit build. You can use other talismans with increases to crit chance. However, with this craft, unless you get really lucky, you're not going to end up with a crit chance roll. So we're going to be looking for spiny talismans, and we're going to put the min level on the item to level 80, and then we're looking for magic. Or hitting your little like side dash. So you're going to want to open up. So you're going to want to open up your market for magic. The next thing we're going to be looking for on our Spiny Talisman is increased physical damage. This is one of the most important. We'll highlight white items for you. If you don't have any currency to buy a magic one at all, you suffix because fizz damage regardless. Now, if you don't have any currency to so expensive to buy, but you are able to like kind of find your own. All right, so for orbs, which are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Exalted orbs, which are very, very expensive. All right, so our first step, once you have your base with percent increase, we hit 28 to 50. That's actually, haven't even done like the rest of the stuff to it. Our next step is we are going to use a perfect essence of abrasion. Perfect. The suffix you buy and guarantee give us the bonus fizz. And we hit 29%. We've got added fizz, and now we've got our bonus fizz. And our next step is going to be making our suffixes. So now that we have our you finish it, basically depends on. So now that we have our so now that we last, so you'd want to use your. So I kind of want to show you like a Craft of Exile example for filling the suffix. Now the other way to do this, which is lucky, we kept the onslaught, we got our plus level, a attack speed. We want 2 perfect essences on this, right? The perfect. However, this happens, but you can fill up your. It has to remove things. A suffix with our next desecration. So here we've got melee, fizz, and crit chance. Looks like we removed the crit chance, and now we can perfect essence of haste. We're trying to remove this, but because this is full, unlucky there. You'd probably go back to then desecrating again, and we're just kind of cycling here to try to get the things that we want. So now we're desecrating a suffix. Now we've got our onslaught, we've got our desecrated suffix, and we've got our random suffix, which, by the way, you'd want to. I don't know if I should zoom that in. Might block out important info. To try to get got our desecrated. So you'd want to desecrate with a Amara, which we'll talk about in a second, and then we could perfect essence of battle. The issue with doing this method is every time that you're doing this, you're having a chance of ripping off something that you've as leech. When it says that on Craft of Exile, that means it off because the weapon is full. It has to rip a suffix, and there we hit our weapon. So we got lucky there. We've got our onslaught. We've got our plus level attacks. This should have been an Amara suffix, but then we could go for Amara guarantees that this would be a attack speed. So then our weapon would be finished. But once again, on that last step with the perfect essence of battle, we could also rip off the onslaught. There we got it again. We got lucky. We kept the onslaught. We got our plus levels, and we got our desecrated suffix. Now the little bit less. Go one more to see if we hit. All right, so now let's do our suffixes, and we'll just kind of do it live. You hit the crit chance roll. Is it really good? Now, if you hit the crit chance roll, I wouldn't put onslaught on it. Just desecrate and add the plus battle, and hope you don't remove the crit chance. All right, so now let's do our suffixes. All right, so now let's do depend. So now let's do it live. We're just gonna do our suffixes. I'm gonna do the cheaper mana per enemy killed. That's not great. Go one more to see if we hit like crit chance, and then we're gonna get to our crafting. We hit leech. So now our suffixes are full. We've got crit damage, mana, and leech. Companion for attack speed. I unfortunately did not get lucky. And then now we've got our desecrated attack speed. Now we're going to go order of cost, which now we're going to use our essence of haste. The essence of haste could hit our desecration, so that's why we're not going to reveal yet, because it could potentially knock that off. But now we use our desecration, and now we've got our mana on kill, our onslaught, and our desecration. And now things will get pricey, and depending on how like risk averse you are on this utilization, because our suffixes are full. So here the weapon could be done. We've got mana on kill, which is actually very good for this build. We've got plus levels attacks, and then we could get attack speed. Those you could just keep cycling. Check this. Let's quality it and artificer orbit our damage runes to it. That puts us at 538 physical DPS. So we're gonna use that. So now we're gonna go to our Well of Souls and make sure that we have our Omen of Abyssal Echo clicked. This is gonna give us our guaranteed attack speed. Let me move my cam. 14%. You can reroll and can grab this and check. Now our weapon is a 624 physical DPS weapon with crit chance, gain extra fizz, the mana on kill, and it looks like for the most part they're this and check. Now our guaranteed attack speed. Let me move my camera. 17%. Hit 17% on the. Not gonna risk it. If you hit like a and check. If you're spending the currency, you might as well make sure that you get good attack. Guaranteed to roll attack speed on it. We can grab this and check. We can grab this speed on it. Boom, 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 boom. I walk into the room dripping.
Oh, it's you.
To price check your weapon, I use a program called Exile Exchange 2. I'll have a link down in the description to it as well. To price check something like this, I currently have it listed for like 14 divines. But we're going to want to click our physical DPS. Now this is very important to double check because I've made this mistake before. My weapon is a 624 DPS, but it lowers all of the stats slightly to check the weapons that are in its range. Getting over 600 DPS, anytime you're over like a 500, 600, 700, the price will go up. So I'm going to make sure that we're only checking weapons that are like over, let's say 605 physical DPS with our gain extra. And then we'll check our plus level of attacks. And right here, we can see that the other weapons on this site for trade are around 12 to 14 divines. If we had hit the extra onslaught and removed the mana and gotten lucky, it would have been about a 20 divine weapon. So once again, you could spend that currency to try to do that, but it could take one more try. It could take 5 more tries. You really don't know on that part. Just kind of depends on the amount of currency that you can spend. And now let's do a little price breakdown. Would the build work without the gloves? Yep, I only picked up the gloves for pinnacle bosses. To price check your weapon, souls. To price check down. A little price breakdown. So all in all, in terms of guys, it's gonna do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. How much did I invest in it? That weapon cost me 6 divines to craft. 6 divines to craft. It'll sell for 12 to 14. If I wanted to sell it this second, we could put it down to like 11. Yo guys, what is up? Max and our Yo guys, what is up? Max and our Path of Exile 2 video, and today we're gonna be going over how to talismans. This is just perfect orb dependent. You Jawbone, an omen of dextral crystallization, an omen of abyssal echoes, an omen of the liege, and some exalted orbs. Damage 8 to 50. Alright, crafting guide looks pretty much done. Your chance to headhunter? No shot. Let's go. There we hit our weapon. So we got lucky there. So now let's do it live. Go one more. You got to use another essence of is very the amount of currency breakdown. So all in all, cool. Crafting guide. All right, let's go do some mapping. Nothing spoken. How do you get 5 seconds on shred? You gotta hit level 90. That is my own pet.
What? 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. Nature takes what's old.
We gotta update our loot filter to only show level 80s on those. Exceptional shield. We're not worried about anything.
That'll do.
Holy screen glare. Yes, sir. Why, literally.
Nature takes what's old. All the roaches. I need more time for that.
We're running out of enemies to kill. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. I can find the craft guide. It's uploading right now. Well, rendering, then it'll be uploading. New weapon for this build. To do the crazy explosions, it helps a lot. We have extra damage as Fizz in our skill tree, so it's not like 1000% necessary, but I think it'll make it way more consistent.
No mana.
It's also nice if you have any sort of like mana leech or health leech or anything like that. It doesn't leech off of it doesn't leap off of cold damage. It only leeches off of fizz damage. So like those stats just work way better if you have it on your build. I listen to any of the new Dayseeker? No, not yet.
Talent restore. I need more time for that.
bum bum. This is gonna hit big. 81% Magi, or 81 Magi. Come on, give me big fizz. All right, that's a suffix. It hit T1 added fizz. That's harder to work with. $130 exalts.
Yes?
I'm gonna undercut him.
I'll do what I can to sell it for you.
Percent fizz doesn't exist on Magis. It does, it's just rare. Only Ellie damage? That's just not true. Oh, am I getting the bases confused? Because there's two that look the same. Right? Also, these are Magis with percent fizz. Just memeing and never rolls. Okay, you got me confused because there are two. There is like a Magi, and then there's another one that's looks like this that's called something else.
Yes.
I got debated. Wait, what was that thing? T2 rarity? Just, like, go ahead and hit, like, +3 level of projectile skills from it, please. Fire res. Sad. Moxie, how do you craft your amulet again? Because my headhunter, I can't get a new amulet now. Because of my headhunter, I can get a new amulet now without all the stats. I just bought a base with plus level of melee skills, spirit, and crit chance. And then I desecrated for the percent armor from equipped body armor as a prefix. And then I omen of crystallization. Omen of catalyzing exaltation. This, while the item is active in your inventory, your next exalted orb will consume all catalyst quality to increase the chance of the corresponding type of modifier. So you catalyze life. Mine was, I was aiming for life. I wasn't aiming for armor. I was aiming for increased armor and then plus life. But you catalyze life to get to 20 catalysts on this, and then greater exalt slam. And it, in a perfect world, hits life, but it increases the odds of it hitting life a whole bunch. But yeah, you would look for... I'm curious to how much it was. I bought my base for 70 exalts. And now if you wanted to look for spirit, level of all melee skills, and crit chance. 240. You'd want to type in prefix. Empty prefix is at least 1, and then empty suffix is at least 1. Oh, good lord. Yeah, this is what I bought, but mine was 70 exalts. What the fuck? Let's look for 30 spirit. Jesus Christ. Let's rip the crit chance off and check. Okay, there you go. This one's 77 exalts right now for max life, spirit, plus level of melee, and crit damage bonus. And then you could craft desecrate armor or whatever. That would be a good pickup. This one's 1 div for 41 spirit, plus 2 melee. This one's spirit rarity, plus levels of melee and lightning. You could desecrate and catalyze that. In 43 spirit. I'd honestly just buy this one. Strength, max energy shield, plus level of melee, some lightning res, and then finish crafting that for 1 div. With exalt and a catalyze for whatever you need. You can get spirit as an implicit. True. Yeah, you could look for 35 spirit on a... What are they called again? Not gold amulets. What's the amulet base? Solar or stellar? Solar. That one's 2 div for max life. The spirit you need plus 2 level. Oh, it's got cast speed. Never mind. Oof. 3 div for a bunch of spirit rarity and plus 2 melee skills. That was pretty good too. The finishing the craft on that's pretty easy. You could also get wacky with it and look for a magic base, but those would probably be really expensive. Because you'd just be looking for this. Oh, actually, you could just buy a magic base. I'd just buy a magic. How much is it for a +3? Oh, 15 divines. That's on a solar, though. We don't actually need that much spirit. $5 div for a spirit melee. How much spirit does mine have? 48. How do you do the magic crown? It depends on what you'd want. At that stage of investment, I would essence it to hit rarity. And then depends on if you want more survivability or crit chance, you'd desecrate the prefix of the suffix. You'd probably try to go for a suffix crit chance and then catalyze slam for life or armor. It says no space. You just got to keep collecting it. If it's full, that means it says no space. That means it's trying to hit the prefix, but it can't do a prefix, so it'll only do the suffix. Struck gold with just 3 exalted orbs. What, on your base weapon? We can do another crafting video. I want to craft some boots and I want to craft an amulet. Well, those are nice. Yeah, I gotta get some 35% movement speed boots. Your shred's at 60k DPS now without buffs. Let's go. Oh shit, we got an overrun map over here. Let's do Spider Woods into Oasis. We're gonna like properly juice that one. I was kind of let down by our last one that we did. I just don't know exactly what to look for on tablets for like, or what people are using on tablets for like big currency. We got Abyss, Breach. Chance Urban hit it. Let's go. You get a head on her. You get a head on her. Holy shit, a fracturing arm.
Restless dead. Big on both, Legion. Let's have a gander.
Give me all these fighting talismans.
Rock out, rock out, rock out, rock out.
Yo, King Dread, look at the 7 months. Is there an enemy still in here somewhere? Oh. Someone else there?
I need more time for that.
Why is this strong box not open? What? Okay, I'm just gonna assume that bugged.
Out of mana.
Bunch of garbage. Those birds were the enemy? Oh, really? Oh, you're right. Thank you. Very tricky.
I need more time for that. Balance restore. I'm already good. I'm not ready yet. I'm already good.
Long. Breach. Was gone in the spreadsheet because I'm gonna make a video on it, and the video will be better.
Balance restore.
Did we just teleport the boss out of his thing? Or did we make it? Oh, I think we made it into the boss arena. That was weird looking. Oh shit, we leveled up. Let's go. I'm gonna grab that because it seems very nice for shred. Oh my god, our shred is our shred's 464,000 damage right now. Holy shit, I gotta get a screenshot of that. That's insane. Last life's gonna come between us. Is the leveling guide up to date? Yup. What's your crit chance? They should make something called combust for fire to change it up. That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, I still feel like they buffed ignite and fire this patch, but I don't know. I still feel like cold and lightning dominate. I do think it feels like there's less lightning builds this league. I don't know if that's because it was so dominant last league or if it's actually worse. What skills to quality? Lunar Blessing and Herald. That's what I would quality first. Alright. Crafting guide is uploading. Let's see if we get lucky on any of these. Elemental. Cold. Cold. Alright, we're gonna do a little recombination. See if we get lucky. Gonna reforge all these three together, all blue 80s, and pray it hit something better. Nope. Sad. Cause I will bring you down. Do the bow. Oh yeah, obliterator bow. Level 80. Sad. Out of curiosity, because bow builds are very popular right now, how much is an obliterator bow base going for? With Fizz. Let's look for 160 increased Fizz. Magic. 80 obliterator. Cheaper than a talisman? Oh, no. That's around the same-ish price. Around 3 to 4 div. Tyrannical obliterator. Is it just your boots? What? My boots have 225 energy shield, which is a fair bit. That's pretty good, Raminar. You should be chilling. Yes, there's leveling guide videos as well. That should get updated to mind over matter. wishing, wishing goodbye. I don't know why this unsaved. Not starting mams. Unseen paths is this. That's why. That's why. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was correct originally. That's unseen paths. That's T15. There we go. There we go. Okay, that looks better. Cool, cool. You going back to bow after wolf? We're either doing bow or spellcaster. I think spellcaster could be kind of fun because I haven't really played a spellcaster. Should I desecrate battle essence? Fizz. Ooh. Yeah, desecrate to fill the suffixes, and then battle essence and Bray doesn't hit the crit chance. Crafted these for mapping. Ooh, that one's sick. Some nice boots. Hell yeah. Alright, crafting guide is uploading. Let's make our thumbnail. Glitch chaos for the first time. Nice. Is living inside. Crafting guide, I guess. Crafting guide.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
What up, boss?
Yo, Poppy through the 59 months. Appreciate that. Let's put that back there. What's up, Build? How you doing? Exclamation mark Build. Yep. Oh no, not the arrow. Where's the reaction phase? Oh, come on. I haven't put an arrow in a thumbnail in like 18 million years. I dare you to find the last thumbnail I put an arrow in. Dare you say? Yeah, I dare you. A reaction phase. Perfect.
Now that's That's a lot of damage.
Whoops, wrong button. Nah, dude. Honestly, it's kind of funny. I mean, it works for some people. The algorithm likes when there's a face in the thumbnail. It does like when there's a face. Thumbnail for the BL4 XP farm has an arrow. How many months ago? 4 months? Hey, glad to hear, Lucky. Chicken, can you timestamp this for me? You don't know how? Did you do it? Oh, let's go, dude. GG's. Chicken, can you timestamp this for me real quick? Por favor, sir. Dun, 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Eternity. Thanks for the honor tips. Let's go. Good stuff. All right, we've got a big juicy map to go run. The question is, what are we looking to put on this? What? Good to go. Okay. All right. I gotta finish this up and then we'll go. I do not have much time left, actually. Let's get this video out and then I gotta dip. Just curious, what type of belt would be best to chance orb to get a headhunter? Heavy belt. You have to use a heavy. You can't get a headhunter on chance orbing a non-heavy belt. You can, with a Omen of the Ancients or something like that, you can chance orb other belts to try to hit a headhunter, but you want a heavy belt specifically.
That's a lot of damage.
Anonymous took the 2 gifted subs. Appreciate that.
That's a lot of damage.
I think the Cosmos is telling me to craft a weapon. Let's do it. Continue the fast combo you do on bosses. So all I'm doing on bosses, boss starts, I Lunar Blessing, I Savage Fury. I have 0 right now, so I can't do that. And then I Arctic Owl, I Pounce, I Lunar Assault till they're dead, or they're frozen, sorry. And then Tread, Cross Slash. You want to try a craft, but you only have like 3 div. I mean, you could craft with 3 div, but you'd want to only buy. You'd only want to spend 1 div on the base. You could just for 3 div. I feel like you could get a pretty good talisman. Honestly, like you could just get a. You could go buy a 500 DPS talisman with crit chance for 90 exalts. That'll get you more than through T15. Your DPS is higher than a 99 div weapon. Sheesh. Yoshi Bear, let me go update our loot filter as well, so it only shows level 80 bases. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna make a new one. We'll do Uber Endgame. Uber strict. Endgame. Druid. And then customize, highlight specific bases. Let's do normal, item level 80. Yoshi. Spiny. Magi. Jade. It looks like the revered vestments is the best best base. Revered, Zenith, and Corvus. I don't think we have those in here. Corvus, venerated, revered. I don't think those are normal bases that can drop. Alright, I'll just do these for now. Not supposed to sell a limited amount of times on the same pack. Like I do one and let it pop from the Herald and move on. I mean, it depends on how much damage you have. When you're entering maps and stuff, you're gonna need to Lunar Assault and then maybe shred them. Lunar Assault, maybe throw in some shred and stuff like that. Once you have the damage though, which you're aiming for, you won't need to shred on anything besides like bosses. You just Lunar Assault and they'll explode. Self. Do you pounce a lot with Marcus Siphoning too? That gives a huge chunk of mana back. I use pounce as my like way to engage packs. So I like kill a pack, pounce, kill the pack, pounce. I am a danger to myself. Is Maxroll mark siphoning? Doesn't support pounds. Mark siphoning doesn't support pounds. Might just be an issue on the back end of Maxroll. You could just put it in pounds. Alright, we're saving the overrun for when we have a little bit more time. Chicken, how you doing with those stamps?
Balance restored.
You there, local, come here. I always wanted this.
Abomination!
Oh shit, in our logbook. Click. Just pick up the thing. You goofy wolf.
Out for another hunt, are you? The hunt begins.
Did this load our Uber strike filter? No. Now let's say what our loot looks like. Should basically only be showing me things that are very good.
Balance restored.
This looks so much more fun than your bear convert. Come to the dark side.
I need more time for that.
DM, beautiful, thank you. Any mistakes?
I'm not ready yet.
Do I run Crown of Eyes? Hell no. No, if we were playing a Shaman, maybe. Not on Oracle.
I need more time for that. I need more time for that.
How do we get a hold of Moze? I need to show him a video. That might be a glitch to give people SDUs in Borderlands 4. You just DM me on Discord or Twitter.
I'll take you.
That is a lot of elemental resistances. Superior. Garbage. Yeah, okay. No chat on's great. My bad. What? Okay, okay. All right. Doo-doo-doo. It's very nice leveling with Wolf. You have really, really good boss damage. You don't get great clear speed until you're kind of endgame. But it's very, very nice to level with. You're a little squishy for your first, like, 5 levels before you pick up any armor, though, and have to use a melee playstyle. Easy peasy. Sad. Going to the dark side of Pathfinder. Oh, no. We lost another.
That's a lot of damage.
Shadow, I think it's 11 months. Appreciate
Any
that.
plans on D4 Paladin build? Oh.
Any plans on D4 Paladin build? I do want to check it out. I don't know if I would make a build guide. The only reason with making a build guide now is I feel like there's probably a quadrillion build guides for Paladin. Alright, I unfortunately have to dip. We're going for a nice little Italian dinner with stuff. Who's that guy? My pseudo-father. Sorry for the short stream. That's 2 short ones in a row, though. We'll be grinding later tonight / maybe tomorrow. Enjoy dinner. Thank you. That crafting guide is going up right now. I'll get that out. Not break me, no wall. We're gonna go raid Mr. Ziggy D. You're pretty familiar with short. Fuck you. Alright. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, wait. Ziggy D is not or valid. Oh, it's Ziggy D Live. Whoopsies. Have a good night. You take care, Corns. Cheers, everyone. I'm gonna try to go to bed on time tonight so we can start streaming on at like fucking 5 p.m.